The more I see this map, the more I'm loving it. Welcome back, one and all. We are once again in receding for the Hims Cup battle against Boldness. That's right, they might be able to help you in real life, but we're here to help you with entertainment in-game. Louis MT versus B. Game number 5 in this best of 9. Finally, after 3 grueling losses in a row, Louis MT was able to break that streak. And we've seen this type of Louis before. He's a dangerous fellow. All it takes is one game to rally. Jeanne versus Jushi. Could this be the beginning of a huge comeback after that reset? I mean, the Mongol versus Jeanne matchup, Louis looks so good on his timing, and he is something of a Jeanne aficionado. One of the most threatening players on this Civ in the early days, in fact. B with the Shushi, it seems a little bit more obvious the path he wants to take. Shushi just incredibly popular. But in the Pro Scouts war, one thing I will say is usually the guy who wins is the one who doesn't participate. And is Caillou here? Caillou, we have a problem. Oh, wait, no, we don't. Okay, we're safe. I was like, where are the deer? This is looking really good for Louis. This is the map of the board man? Yes, to raise awareness. To solve board issues. And have fun doing so. This is cool, though. By doing this deer shove-in, Louis doesn't necessarily need to play Pro Scouts. And that's a huge edge. It means he can block B's win condition. Because B, with Shushi, you're almost always thinking Pro Scouts. If he wasn't, he would have at least tried for a deer shove already. It did come at a trade-off, though. You may notice what Louis done to get this. He didn't scout for sheep. He also didn't go for the merchant camp. However, Louis might realize quickly there's still sheep on the map because of this. Wait, where are the sheep? There should be some. I'm noticing a huge lack of sheep. Huh? How are there none on the south side? At all. Like, B pretty much got all the sheep just by heading north here, if I'm not mistaken. He's got 10 sheep compared to 5. Okay, there we go. Louis found some. Wait, did Louis find some or did B donate? I think... Did I just miss that? Did B donate again? There's no wild sheep. All sheep spawn near player TCs. Ah, thank you, Caillou. Appreciate the clarity on that. Wait, but what happened then? Because Louis didn't have sheep, or did I just misread the UI? I swear he didn't have sheep at minute, like, 2. He was down to 1. Anyway. Focus on the forward a little here. School of Cavalry is going to be coming in. Meditation Guarding does get dropped on the north side. That is a lot of wood. Oh my god. B is role-playing as a beaver. Wait, but why not north a bit? You lose the corner piece, but you gain straggle trees and you get the gold? I don't know. I feel like the gold's just a little bit better there. By the way, shout out to Caillou for getting rid of sheep roulette. Honestly, I think it's probably one of the biggest things plaguing the game still that needs to go. I don't think the sheep RNG game is fun for really anyone. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe someone out there loves the sheep game. I'm guessing it's because you always win it. But I think for a lot of people, it's not a good feeling to feel like your game is ruined because you didn't find the sheep. My YouTube titles need to be simpler and stupider. Yeah, the problem with that is if every single YouTube video says, this game is epic, then, like, you literally got repeat titling. So you have to have some originality. Okay, I like this from B, though. So he is going to get the deer shove in. Wait, why are we killing the deer? Chill. Chill. It's worth shoving this deer in and then pro scouting the other one. Louis is going to have knights on the way. So, likely we're looking at wheelbarrow here just to get that mobility going. Wait, no? Alright, I'm a little bit surprised by this. He's still going pro scouts. Very unexpected build here. I like the idea from both of them of, like, you know, the deer shove in to just remove the value should de-incentivize the play and reward you, but in theory, what should have happened here is Louis should have just been barreling without pro scouts, and then you just see this environment where B can't get this deer in the middle. Instead, I think what Louis is doing here is playing as if he would not do pro scouts, because the deer shove in into the night, B's like, oh my god, I'm being attacked. So in theory, what should end up happening is B's going to guard this area, and then Louis can sneak the deer. And B can't really rush out with Spearman to defend the deer, because if he does, these knights can slip into the back. Meanwhile, Jeanne Dork going to be putting on her reading glasses, doing something that would bore a lot of us. Jeanne versus all the wildlife, apparently. Doing double scout, just get less sheep. Yes, I mean, there's some maps where double scout is really good. So Gorge is one of them, for example. Gorge, double scout can quite reliably get you 75% of the sheep on the map. Because you just run a scout down each side, and then whichever side your opponent's on, you know to dial back on your own side again. The other one, you just keep running to the enemy side. Nice intercept here. Louis, not the best trade on health, though. That scout griefed him. Yeah, no. So Louis, the idea there is to move in with the scout first, so he absorbs the brace, and then you hit double knight. But what happened is the knights got in the way of the scout, and then the scout got in the way of the second knight attacking. So he just took a lot of damage and barely done anything. He even managing to micro away on 1 HP here. Man, Jeanne is just a psycho the way she jump swings, by the way. I feel like we never talk about that a lot. Like, how? That sword is so much bigger than her. And I don't want to bicep shame, but like there is not really much meat on those bones. I guess she's a climber? I swear, guys, like, climbers actually have a lot more muscle than anyone ever expects. It's just they don't go to the gym and swole it, bro. She does have the Divine Restoration. Nicely done. A lot of injuries already for B. Wasp is coming, but looks like he's getting the Pro Scouts play home. B already took the south side one, though, right? So they've... Oh, no, actually, like, someone got taken by Louis. So overall, like, a decent haul for him. Another important detail here is you might think, oh yeah, but Shushi has 20% more food, so it'll be fine. Remember, Jeanne is getting discounts as well. So it's not like you just get completely crippled by the efficiency difference. They're actually quite tight. She has the Zweihander? Yeah, but why does she have the Zweihander? Why does the French girl have a German sword? There's an inappropriate joke in there somewhere, but we're going to focus on the fact that B is rushing Castle Age on a map where 3 of the 5 relics cannot be rushed. No, he'd have to capture these and gather from them to get the relics. So Louis literally has one place he needs to camp. By the way, it was 68 wood and 25 gold in the end. It's a lot of wood for this gamer. I don't know, like, if you're not going to go archers, it doesn't feel that valuable though. And obviously, with Tug being the option, I guess, like, of meditation gardens, there weren't really much better options. As you don't get a really big berry batch next to your base. Okay, a guy in full plate armor was flipping 20 times in 1 minute. That's not hard to do. I mean, like, the gauntlets are a little bit clunky, but you could easily flip someone off 20 times. So, Louis, usually the way you play this, you just keep scaling knights. B is already switching to crossbows, which is going to be a little bit problematic, but Louis, honestly, like, archers is the come-from-behind solution here. You have to play this for a few minutes and bulk up to 20-30 archers. If your opponent's not going to play heavily armored units, you're actually not in a bad position. And you have to remember, like, what does B actually achieve this age up? He got 1 relic home. That's probably the only relic he's going to see this game. Unless he somehow sneaks all the way across next to Louis' base and takes this. We do have Louis now on the stone. That's curious. Probably just outposts. I can't imagine he's thinking about creeping a TC with 1 villager. That's a very long-term plan. Yeah, Louis, not as sneaky as he thinks. Outpost and scout does see him. What's the prize pool? We got $75 on offer for these wonderful lads. So winner takes 50, loser will take 25. Hopefully, if there's a lot of positive reception to hymns and also a lot of people tuning into these, then we can go back and talk to them about bigger prize pools and bigger tournaments. Ooh, nice to know on the scout. I mean, Louis has got other ones, but at least strip some vision away. What happened on this tree line? Scammed. Use hymns for your bald head. I mean, that's the thing. Not everyone can look as glorious as this Charlemagne. Even when he's dying, he looks phenomenal bald. For everyone else, it's him. It is actually kind of beautiful that in the battle. Now I think about the battle against baldness tournament, we have got Shushi. And to keep this tight series, it is kind of the battle against baldness because Louis needs some more points on the board. This would be a big way to secure some. Goes in with the dive. Villagers, there's not enough room for safety here. This is going to hit hard. No counterattack coming either. He needs to get the troops home, but the problem is he overextended moving forward. Good dodge there, B. Here it's to the west side. Louis, of course, having to go east because otherwise he would have been at risk being stuck. He didn't know there wasn't actually a wall up here yet. Louis gradually now trending towards that age up now. He could try to sneak the second relic. There is maybe a small window here, but it's risky, not guaranteed. However, he's got two shallow monks that aren't really doing much of anything else. We're getting the stage where Louis is actually going multi-flank. Hold on a second. Am I getting deja vu? Have we seen this already today? I'm getting flashbacks to something. Yeah, this is very reminiscent of G1. Ironically, a game that also features a Chinese Civ on the defensive. Of course, that was Malians versus B's Chinese. Louis MT is trying to mimic the same idea here again. Knight's just a little bit quicker than a Malian flood to do so. Good blocker on the ball. Knight Raid about to hit the tree line. B, no reaction yet. He's distracted. Yep, he's focused on the outpost, so dive into the base. Villages, there's nowhere to go. It's stacking up quick. Almost a 10 eco lead now for Louis MT. More archers being built as well, so Louis MT aware there could be a counterattack brewing here. At this point, B kind of has to lean on that idea. He's running out of leeway here. He's got the second relic coming home to pad those losses a little bit, but he needs to strike back fast. Because if it take too long, this is going to continue in an awkward direction. Why are there villagers for B on the front line? What? 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 Outpost, maybe? I'm so confused right now. I think he accidentally selected them. They were meant to be on the ball. Yeah, oh my god, no. He selected the villagers. So he's A, idle this whole time. That's actually a pretty big difference right now. May give Louis the catch-up he needs. Guildhall is on the way. I can't believe that is genuinely the difference right there. Imagine the extra units B would have coming in if he'd been gathering that food the entire time, but instead, these villagers shuffled back towards the berries after a long walk. Louis, Guildhall pretty smart here. We saw this map can get very starved very quick. Why do people say Shushi's so good when they keep dying to horses? Because you build their horses. It's that simple. I mean, John Shushi is a little bit of a tricky one. There's a lot of pressure coming in. And with Pro Scout nerfs, I think Shushi's maybe in need of some more exploration right now. To figure out what's next. Sevenville's down, same military value? Well, the point is, with this type of army, you should be more capable of diving if you reach the enemy base. The problem is, when you go spear crossbows, you're stuck defending. You can't just rush. And that's what Louis is exploiting. Very reminiscent of G1. So calming moment here. Does Louis just completely forgo knights? It's quite interesting of a thought, actually. I mean, there should be a decent amount of gold access, especially with that Marine Lord spawn. What the hell? I only just noticed this. He got triple gold on one screen. Like, actually, the winning play for Louis should just be an arbitrary switch, you'd think. Maybe he's worried about Nesta Bees. It was the thing that made that game 1 drag so long. Good micro there. Garrisons a few crossbowmen in just to keep him safe. I think what I'm really enjoying about this map, and feel free to say if you disagree, but I think it's nice to have these type of maps. The starvation. The idea that, like, you can run out. You can feel that encroaching idea, like that encroaching moment, like, I will be out of resources. And you're like, well, because we don't have this back corner, I can't just build my farms here safely. If I want to add farms in, I have to think about it. I have to be very delicate about that transition. I like that. Farms shouldn't just be something you easily do and shrug about. B, well read. Pass guard would be the solution to what he's up against here. Dangerous to do so blind because the possibility is your opponent's going arbitrary. It's like Jeanne's best comp. But he's seen what the comp is. He's seen the archers, seen the horsemen. Speaking of set ponies, hit on the north side. Would be worth wrapping around the back. And there we go. Yeah, Louis gets a little bit deeper to guarantee the kills. Villagers are going to try to run for it, but should get pinched here. Spearman close enough to react. The textiles going to save a few lives, but it still ends up being 3 dead. Nothing but 1 pony lost for Louis. Really good strike in there. Ordnance Company is now on the way. Possibilities start to emerge for Louis here, folks. Siege is a strong pivot for Louis to consider. If he plays into Springolds, he can clear everything B has right now. Level 3 Jeanne just kicked in as well. Arbitrary switch is going to be coming through. I wonder why Louis doesn't want siege here, actually. It probably is the threat for the map for raiding. I think Louis' #1 goal, what he learned from game 1 on this map, and actually from game 4, you don't really want to be the full defender. Playing infantry, playing siege, it means you are going to be reacting constantly. And this map is not easy to pull. So we'll just continue the trend into ponies. Arbitrary is, of course, going to slow the comp down eventually, but when it does, you're going to be the MVP for the fight. Smart reaction. He's getting his own horseman ready as well. That's a little bit awkward to have to do horseman into Jeanne, to be honest with you. Because her herself, like, you feel like when Jeanne exists, you need to counterplay her. I think in this map, it's maybe not as much a concern, because the thought process is like Jeanne, because both of you are going to find farm transition hard, in theory, the one fight that matters, that decides the game, shouldn't be enough to get Jeanne level 4. Shouldn't be enough to give her 1500 XP, realistically. So maybe that gives you like a little bit of sigh of relief that you can just play to count everything else and stop freaking out as much about her. He drops down the center for Louis, so he's going to secure the gold food for long term. And we do also have the Forgotten Ruins. Are they being garrisoned? Yeah, one's been garrisoned by B, so he's working towards that 3rd relic. Really important for a gradual pagoda timing here. Forgotten Ruins don't continue the time if you pop the villager out, so you can farm infinite stone by taking the villager out. But when you're like Shushi here, you actually want them. I think that should be changed, by the way. It shouldn't be that you can ungarrison to keep renewing the stone. So, 2 methods. You either make it so that it only happens if someone decaps it, or the alternative method, I think would be even better, is it should just be a fixed amount of stone. There should only be 360 stone of each of those. Oh my. Alright, this is getting out of control. It just feels like there's giant gaps where, you know, B's just not losing any units. He's reacting quick enough. And then every once in a while, something slips in. And this is the problem with playing Perma Defender on 1TC. Those slip-ins are what will kill you. Great reactions out of Louis as well. And then losing the single knight. Castle and castle drops coming in over here. And we have the efficiency into siege. Louis MT, remember, he went for Ordnance Company. So siege. Pretty damn cheap, actually. 512 resources to build trebuchets. It's starting to feel like a Louis dub at this pacing. The problem that B is going to have is the arbitrary accomplish is going to be very desirable in about 2 minutes. You bulk it up, you get Imperial, you get all the unique upgrades, Gambesons, Crossbow Stirrups, you're unkillable. The Guildhall has been trickling it in. We're up to 1,540 food. He's close to pulling the trigger, and a Red Palace on top of that will make him undiveable. It's a race over that vein, and not one that it feels like B can win. Horsemen are just going to poke at the back here. That's going to force the entire army home, and that actually could just be the resource pull if Louis wants it. He's created the space now to go for a Red Palace drop. And there we go. He pulls it. Hold on a sec, though. Is he pulling on a leg on this? B. He needs to line up perfectly. Horsemen. They do see what they're up against here. The body blocks will be huge. Louis just needs to get out. And he... Oh, tiny gap. Gets away. No hope there. And now Louis MT is about to get the accelerant he needs for a win here. Knights even slip in because the entire army was required for that attempted surround. So if Louis just looks, he could easily just chalk up more kills and turn this into a swift GG. Turns to the charging now. Red Palace on the gold. And all of a sudden, who needs the trebuchets, guys? Just build a Red Palace. Buildings kill buildings. Only thing left to do now is get elite techs. And with double keep, the gold is easily accessible here. Wait, you're not following me, but you're subbed? Oh my god. Okay, so, like, I'll be honest. I do that all the time. I do that with people that I rep even. Where I'm like, oh. I always get recommended and I just don't follow you. It'd be embarrassing to follow you now while you're live and then you see it. Crazy series this is starting to develop into. Veterancy into elite for archers. Doesn't care about the arbitrary. Makes sense, he's up against spears. Horsemen as well. You might as well just go for the thing that at least counts part of that competition. Looks like we do have a villager out for a stroll again. You get out of here. I'm trying to excavate. I think the age of the knights is coming to an end. It's going to be all about the PP boys. Do we even have him excavating? No. Like, Louis doesn't care about relics at all. What's the point at this stage? I mean, it's not bad, stone gen-wise, but obviously Jeanne doesn't really use the stone as well as French. It's not like your discount is attached to castles. It's time to detach B from life here. Going to start squaring up. We do not have incendiary arrows yet. We do have elite arbitrary upgrade on the way though, as well as range damage free. B now switching nest to Bs would be the solution. Does he have the time though? Feels like a big question mark right now. Treb should be able to clear for this red pass eventually. It's a lot of idle time for Louis. 10 villages repairing. God knows how much wood gathering worth of villages to keep it up. Nice stab in there. Jeanne and the horseman right in. Double kill on the Trebs. Easy run away. Did lose some of the frontline archers, but those were trade outs, so it's not a negative. Problem I'm seeing here is B is maintaining his military numbers, and Louis slipping behind a little. Cannons is a smart play. That will be his reaction to Nest Bees. Hand cannoneers is quite brazen with 200 food income. I mean, fairness is 50% gold, so it kind of makes sense. Louis, how many farms? Only 6. This is it. This is literally his entire food economy. So Guildhall must be on gold? All right, color me surprised. Because you have gold access. Food's the thing that you're going to run out of here. I mean, B should have his own problems as well with food. What? 15 food. Wait, the stone POI doesn't show them as idle when they finish? I didn't notice that. There is another thing actually right now that makes the stone POIs a bit clunky. So currently, if you use the go back to work on your TC button, it ejects the villager from the Forgotten Ruins and walks them back to your base. Louis growing up. Damage is adding up quickly. It's 5 trebuchets again. Only a handful of hand cannons in here, but surely Elite would win, right? Right? He's going to win now. He dives the keeps. Red pass down, but the castle still has a shotgun in there. The other shots, good at sniping. The Nester Bees are holding him hostage, though. The cannon needs to turn for a counterattack. Just coming in. Divine Resting has to be used, but the Horsemen are not going for this right now. They A-click the front side of the fight. Louis MT has had enough of this crap. He dives on in. He mobs it all up. And he shuts B down. Villagers just not even coming with clutch repairs at this stage. Jeanne, she did at least get killed there. Farmed a hell of a lot of XP off that fight. At this point, B with 7 food income, maybe 15 at max. Siege alone will not get you back in this game. He may have been his name. There may be a nest of bees in the Civ, but it was not a match made in heaven this time. This is such an interesting one for this detail. I mean, food feeling so hard to transition to farms, it means that losses actually matter in such a meaningful way here on Receding.